the challenge of internationalization is that it has a couple of curveballs in terms of how we want to assess it. So first off, yes, we can internationalize, but what is the scope of the internationalization? How many regions we want to go after? What period of time are we looking at? Which regions, again, remember before we said that different regions matter in terms of how expensive it's going to be for you to take on. How different are those regions from us? The more different they are, the more likely they are going to be expensive, the harder they are for us to internationalize successfully. And also, what does the competitive structure look like in those regions, right? Is it something where we can very easily take market share? Is it something where there's already a lot of incumbents and it's going to be hard for us to jump in? We need to keep all of these things in mind because they change the benefit and the cost of internationalization. And again, if we don't know what the benefits and the costs are, then we can't come up with the ROI. If we can't come up with the ROI, then we don't know where internationalization fits into our priority list. So how do we want to analyze the benefit side of the ROI equation for internationalization? Well, first, we want to look at the total addressable market, the TAM. So as an example, that's going to be the number of applicable users who are going to be in that market times the opportunity that you can reap per user. Again, don't forget the competitive landscape. And how much market share could you actually take in a single year? Then to analyze costs, don't forget the setup costs. It's not just engineering costs. It's not just design costs. We also need to keep in mind the other things that we need to do to successfully spin up in that new country. We need to think about information security. We need to think about legal and compliance, marketing and branding. We need to think about operations, right? What does it mean to have a support line or to have a chat line or to help people out when they get stuck or locked out of their accounts or there's a problem that comes up, right? What does all of this stuff look like? We need to incorporate all of that into the costs of breaking to a new region too. So we've assigned some, again, somewhat arbitrary, I guess, value, something where it is, reason. You're looking at something that you've built in the past. You come up with, generally benefits are this much, costs are this much. This is the ROI for internationalization. And now we can look at internationalization's return on investment versus all of our other initiatives. And I can decide, okay, where do we want to slot this? If internationalization is, a top 1 or top 3 priority, we're probably going to be tackling it. And if it is not high in ROI, then it's not a priority. And so there's really only one of 2 outcomes that can come out of our exercise. If it's not a priority, what we want to do is we want to set this initiative aside, but we don't want to just ignore it because it could become a priority in the future. And so what we want to do is we want to put in things called decision triggers, which basically let us know when should we reevaluate this situation.